This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
I mean, Merrill Reese, he's boxing immortality, but I mean, anybody who's able to hold the same job, and let alone whether you think it's a cool job or not, hold the same job for 49 years.
Yeah.
Be revered within the market the way Merrill Reese is. And I think my man just turned 84 or 85 years of age. And he's still the play-by-play voice for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was on yesterday. And we mixed in some birdseed. We chatted about some good, some bad, some ugly with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have had problems beating the Minnesota Vikings in this state. The Minnesota Vikings have had problems beating the Philadelphia Eagles in that state.
Yeah.
It's 10:05. Good morning. We're going to marathon this segment courtesy of Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. Head to the website and discover appliances that fit your needs, budget, and lifestyle. They guarantee the lowest prices and free metro delivery.
Ooh.
So if you want to take part in the high-end fellowship covenant with Sarah and Brian, the owners of Steve's Appliances, it's in Mounds View. They have a 7,000 square foot showroom, and they offer fast delivery, free recycling, and guaranteed low prices. They also love KFAN. They support 9 to Noon and provide us with the marathon segments, including this one titled Birdseed.
Yeah, I'm gonna start here. Although I do want to jump back. I think did you catch Merrill Reese in a mood yesterday, PA?
He was in the car.
Well,
so when we were negotiating times, I would prefer to start it this time, Paul. The offensive line coach was just put into the radio show. Yes, well, perhaps we can do 11 o'clock your time, Paul. It would be noon Philly Freedom time.
Because in that interview, he mentioned in separate parts of the conversation that he's still able to get up and down a golf course.
Yeah,
he still walks 18.
Yep.
And that, by the way, I've been doing it for 49 years, just signed another long-term deal.
I know.
He just wanted to let everybody know that it ain't over for Merrill Reese and those mink coats quite yet.
Crazy. He went common on it.
I always love that one.
But nobody was suggesting that he, A, has lost a verbal step, or B, was close to the end.
No, that's why I'm thinking we caught him.
I was setting something up.
Yeah.
I asked him, do you still go to all the road games?
Right.
Because I know, I didn't think he went to Brazil last year when they debuted against Green Bay. So we didn't talk about last year, so he probably kept it to this year. I don't go to FedEx Field. It's just too difficult to get in and out, and the stadium is a dump. Okay, well, so he eventually understood what I was saying, but it was far from an affront on somebody's age or quality of boxing style.
No, that's why I'm thinking you triggered something that somebody else had triggered in him regarding doing a preseason game on the big screen instead of at the awful pit. He made it sound like it was the destitute wasteland, this Northwest Stadium bit.
It's awful. But yeah, right. I'm glad you brought that up because I texted him like I do most, if not all, of our guests when we're done. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Have a good day. Left me on red.
I always love that one.
And of course, he's got read receipts.
No, but here's the thing, is that I looked back at the ones when we were negotiating the time and delivered the thank you, appreciate the time, see you this weekend. He had to have switched to red to leave me on it. Oh my gosh. He's going to leave me on red, and I'll see him this weekend. He's salt of the earth.
You know, I want to start here. We have been obsessed with health on the Minnesota Vikings, and it's because this is our universe, our sphere. You would call it a fishbowl and a certain rock that we rest and reside underneath.
The Vikings think Jalen Carter plays this weekend.
Well, but that's the key. So I was reading some NBC Sports reporting, and right now, Jalen Carter is one of their biggest disappointments so far in 2025, PA. And
NBC Sports, the bit that works with the Eagles.
NBC Sports Philadelphia, yeah.
They're and I'm doing a Zoom with them tomorrow.
Okay.
1:00 Cornfields. Do you see an Ashlyn Sullivan?
Ooh, let me
Ashlyn
verify.
Sullivan and something Spadaro, I think.
Well, Doug Spadaro for sure. He works with the Eagles, I believe. So it must be TV reporter plus he does the NBC Sports bit.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what they say about Jalen Carter. So after the All-Pro season a year ago, we remember him. I mean, top 10 pick, and he was an absolute badass all year. Astronomical expectations this season that have not played out. He misses the opener. We know that after the spitting bit with Dak Prescott. He had 10.5 sacks a year ago, and he has no sacks, no pass knockdowns, no forced fumbles, just 3 solo tackles, 1 TFL in his 4 games that he's played this year. And then he missed this last game against the Giants with the heel.
Wow.
And I've been hearing, so you're saying it sounds like Vikings are planning, which makes sense. You'd plan on if the big timer plays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading coin flip, and maybe, that's the week of injury subterfuge and stuff. So you watch for the injury reports.
That's a questionable.
But for Fangio's group, man, that guy means a ton, and he's been an absolute disaster this year. So disappointments with the defense, and we'll run through various aspects, but Quinyon Mitchell has been hurt, and he's iffy into this game as well. They're starting that Makuba cat, the second round rookie at safety. Nakobe Dean, they could only get him into special teams work a week ago. How much defense can he play? And they might need him, given the fact that Jalix Hunt has been a problem for them in terms of productivity this year. Zadarius, Zadarius. He just retired.
And he had a sack and a half, which was like 25-30% of their team total sacks.
Well, and that's the thing, is they're not getting to the QB. They're not affecting things the way that we had known them to do just even a year ago. And their first rounder, by the way, Jahad Campbell, the linebacker, I think he's out of Bama. He can't crack the starting lineup. So that's just on the defensive side of the ball, and I'll hit you with this as well.
Yeah, that's the big key, the defense.
Before we jump to the other side, well, it is a massive key, and the way that we've kind of talked about it, right, in the Vikings' 2 losses, you've seen Bijan Robinson get loose, which he has a right to do. He's an absolute superstar running back, but we expect better out of Flores and that group, I should say, and no doubt about that. But then Gainwell in the Steelers game, I do think that this run conversation is going to be a bigger part of this on Sunday. But respectively, a year ago, PA, they were top 10 on third down offense a year ago. Top 10. They are bottom 6 this year, just over 30%.
Yeah.
Last year, defense on third down, they were 3rd in the NFL last year. This year, they're 26th. So what you're having right now is a lack of efficiency, and we know about the tush push. They're still very good at it, but their inability to move the chains on third down, their inability to keep other teams from moving the chains on third down, something is happening specifically in the trenches that is causing problems. So from a birdseed standpoint, I'm already full. My belly is full, wondering what is going on with Fangio's defense. A defense, I think, tops in scoring a year ago, 2nd in yards. Scoring on the Eagles was a massive freaking problem a year ago. Now, not so much. Not as much, I should say.
Well, James Bradbury has seen his better days. Darius Slay still can play. So he's not big play Slay like he used to be, but as we saw in the Steelers game, to a certain extent, he still can play.
Yeah.
I think they had Josh Sweat on their team last year.
They did.
Okay. Well, that's for a team that is lacking edge pass rushing, that's an edge pass rusher they had to let go.
Right.
Why did they have to let him go? Because of paying Saquon.
Yep.
And A.J. Brown. And eventually, or Jalen Hurts and stuff like that. Their left guard, Landon Dickerson, is one of the better in the game. He missed the last game. But from a secondary standpoint, I mean, it's kind of like a Vikings offseason conversation that we've had the last couple of years. You trust Byron Murphy Jr. They believe heavily in Isaiah Rodgers, and they absolutely look prescient with that first day of free agency decision. Then you got Jeff Okudah, Nudie behind him. Mekhi Blackman was on the team at that time, and Mekhi is making some memories for Indianapolis. So the point being here is if you're able to rush it with Grenard, Van Ginkel, Hargrave, Allen, and Dallas Turner, like they felt they would, they can protect the secondary.
Yep.
The Eagles, I don't really know what their expectations were with their edge guys. Jahad Campbell, the rookie, he is absolutely supposed to be A, starting, and B, having more sacks than he does. Carter's been in and out, like you said. That's crazy. Jordan Davis has been a stalwart. I think they use Ojulari as one of their edge guys. I think he's beaten Campbell out of the job.
Yeah, Azeez Ojulari.
Zach Bond, good, but has come back to the pack. Cooper DeJean, very good, but has come back to the pack a little bit. Reed Blankenship gets a little too hot-headish from what I understand. And when he gets that way, you put him on a double move. So just keep that as the first nugget of bird seed information we're going to share up to the game. We'll share a lot more on Friday as the steam begins to assimilate. Reed Blankenship, if you see him get upset about something with a referee, a play or something like that, next play, double move over the top on the hothead, and you score about 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and you mentioned sacks in general. They have 9 sacks as a team through 6 games, and only 2, 4, 6 teams have fewer at this stage. So they're not getting to the QB. They're not affecting the pass game.
Yeah.
Which leads you down the road. You mentioned those corners, man. Keely Ringo. They're trying to get a ton out of him. I think he's one of like the 50 Georgia cats that play on the Eagles team. Well, it ain't working. And Adoree Jackson, who's just a retread, originally maybe a first-round pick with the Titans, eventually found his way to the Giants and is now with the Eagles. He's been absolutely dreadful. And then I did mention, of course, Quinyon can't play, so I don't know if that's a Perry Nickerson side. How about that, Perry Nickerson? We love Perry. Go Perry. Marcus Epps. Yeah, I think he was here for like a training camp or something like that. Maybe 7th-round Vikings draft pick. But that brings us to the offense. So drilling it down, and I can be indicted for making things too simplistic, maybe in some respects. I think the running game means everything as far as this team goes. So just kind of laying it out here. 3.5 yards a clip with Saquon versus 4.9 a year ago. Middle of the pack in attempts this year versus tops in the league. So in the way that you might ask, hey, Kevin O'Connell, 3-2 team, how do you sum up the identity of the Minnesota Vikings at this point? And I think Kevin O'Connell, being fully honest, would kind of struggle to really pinpoint the identity of what this team does on a weekly basis. I mean, we can just go star power and just go Justin Jefferson just can't be stopped right now, and he's willing this team to victories. But at a broad global level, what's the identity of this team? Still trying to find it because health is an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the O-line, man, reading through it. Cam Jurgens. And this is from just reading. You mentioned Doug Spadaro of the Eagles, reading some of their stuff. Hasn't been very good, not consistent enough this year. Is that because, you mentioned it, Landon Dickerson, I think he got hurt in the opener, and he was grinding it out, didn't play in the Giants game. So that's some birdseed for you with the left guard situation, another person to watch on the offense. They downgraded because they had Mekhi Becton. Remember him?
Yeah.
Former Jet, lazy, huge, finally finds his way to Philly, and suddenly he's the cat's meow, right? At the right guard spot, part of a 2,000-yard rushing season. Well, they go to Tyler Steen, hasn't been very good. They traded for former first-round pick Kenyon Green in the offseason, hoping he would compete. He was terrible. I don't think he's on the team anymore. Lane Johnson looks old. Their O-line isn't dominating games. I mean, it's kind of drilling down to, you want to speak to identity. The identity of, we're going to run it. You know we're going to run it. It's like Adrian's MVP season, right? We know we're going to put eight guys in the box if we can. We know you're handing it to number 28. You just have no shot. Now we have a shot. And it's becoming an issue because of their offensive line. Hurts is on pace for more sacks than the 38 that he had in 15 games last year. He's got 18 sacks already through 6 games. The run game means everything to this team, man. And the Hurts in the passing attack, because a big part of our conversation has been, A.J. Brown, not Stephon Diggs style cryptic in his press conference related quips and quotes, but still kind of lending you to the kid ain't happy, right? A.J. Brown ain't happy with how it's going. Statistically, they're kind of in the similar boat to where they were a year ago. But when you drop from having the most prolific rushing attack nearly to a historic standard to a team that I believe, let me find it here right in front of me, they are 25th in yards, 14 in attempts. They still have all those rushing touchdowns, fourth worst in the NFL in yards per attempt. They are an absolute mess, PA. And it starts in the same way. Upgrade Javon Hargrave. Love that. Jonathan Allen. Welcome to the covenant. And then on the offensive side of the ball, going to Ryan Kelly, going to Fries, doing what you did to find Donovan Jackson, who looks like a stud. Can't wait for him to be back. All that investment into the trenches, that has been their identity and their culture for a decade. And it ain't working. It ain't good. And their health issues are impacting them in massive ways where, I mean, just flippantly, like on a Monday out of the bye week, I'm feeling good. I'm filling in for you. And I'm thinking to myself, man, it was kind of nice to spend the weekend not talking about Carson Wentz or J.J. McCarthy. I'm excited to see who plays. Want the kid to be healthy. But it was kind of fun not having that on my mind. It was also nice not having to jump right into Eagles week. And here we are. It's Monday. Man, teams lost 2 in a row. You got Jackson Dart and freaking Cam Scattaboo clowning on these guys in prime time. How pissed are the Eagles going to be after winning 2 in a row?
Are they capable of getting to that emotion?
That's what I'm worried about. Well, not worried about. I'm a Vikings fan. But that's
when you've made as much money as the most key players on that team have made, okay? They're not the first team to have a bevy of superstars to make stacks on top of stacks of cash. But when you make that kind of life-changing money and you get a Super Bowl ring,
yeah,
I mean, human nature gets to win too.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, something seeps inside you that you can't get around.
Absolutely, it does.
Because you're like, I'm looking at this account, these investments, got all these family members tapping on me and everything. I can deal with that. Oh, and I got this ring.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
I can chill for a little bit.
I'm good. You know, just what they're getting now, I'm good.
Yeah, and they've now seen the top. But kind of flippantly on a Monday, I'm thinking to myself, of course, this is a get-right game for Saquon. Of course.
Yeah.
Angry, infighting. They are their own worst enemy. I don't believe that is, if we were talking hyperbolic or hyper-accurate, I think I'm hyper-accurate with that. I think the Eagles are their own worst enemy. And this has to be the roll into U.S. Bank Stadium, stomp on the purple, quarterback situation, everything involved, and Saquon's going to run like the wind right out those open pivoting doors on a beautiful Sunday in Minneapolis, and it's a lopsided victory for the Birds.
You get a lead on these Birds the way they're acting right now, they ain't coming back on you.
I don't think they can run
Not
right
on the
now.
road.
I don't think they can come into U.S. Bank Stadium. This is a Wednesday before a Sunday, and the game's got to play out. As it looks, I don't think they can come in here and run for 200 yards on the Vikings.
Right.
And if they cannot do that, I think they're in significant trouble on Sunday against the Vikings.
What do you think of this? All right, so with the bird seed of negativity, very well laid out. I just wonder what has changed from September 14th, winning at Arrowhead by 3. Next game, down 3+ touchdowns at home.
To the Rams,
Come back and win it by 7.
What was that, the kick block TD, something like that to ice it? Yeah.
The next week, September 28th, at Tampa Bay. Well, the Buccaneers have 1 loss. Or did they lose to the Niners?
No, they're 5-1, yeah.
They have 1 loss. It was this game.
Right.
31-25.
Tough pick by Baker in the end zone.
Well, they were getting killed in that game, too. Then they came back valiantly. Okay, so through all of that, those teams are quality stock. And Philly found a way to win. So from September 28th through October 5th, the way they blew that Broncos game, because the Broncos offense leaves a lot to be desired, and they allowed 21 points, and they lost at home to Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Then they got the short week at Scattaboo and Dart, and they get killed. So what do you think of this? I mean, if Eagles fans are looking for get right week, they got the Vikings this weekend, noon, U.S. Bank Stadium. A week after that, they host the Giants.
Oh my God.
Wow. Look ahead to the Dart game. Think anybody ever would have said that? So look ahead to the Dart Scattaboo game.
I think
then the week after that.
That's a slump buster right there.
Then the week after that, they're on the bye.
Oh.
When you have that type of life-changing equity.
Yeah.
And now you got the ring to go with it. You start looking at the bye.
You do.
When's the bye? I'm good. I'm cool, man. I got my ring. I got my money. I'm good.
You know, the thing that you've hit on a couple of times with Brandon Graham, and you were talking with Merrill yesterday, bringing up Reese, bringing up HOF, Vox and Vox. The love and adoration that he kind of poured out, Merrill did yesterday about Jalen Hurts. Sounds like Jalen Hurts might be that calming presence. And just being outside, I mean, you look at him, dude has no pulse. So sounds right. I'm just gonna lend to Merrill's expertise on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But Brandon Graham, who was really, I mean, Lane Johnson certainly in the mix, but Brandon Graham, kind of the OG. He's been there for all of it, right? He was there through 2017, and he was there certainly last year, getting to the top of the mountain. And he was that guy. You mentioned it, late season, just things were getting weird. Super talented team, almost bored with their prosperity, that they just have all this extra time to fight and whine with each other. Brandon Graham walked into the locker room. He's like, the bleep ends. It's over.
Well,
shut up and play, and we're going to handle business. And then they would move forward from that.
Brandon Graham first went public and did like a podcast or an interview, got after it there when he was on IR. He was on yes. the IR bit that like cost him almost the entire season.
So picture the leader and the presence. So who is that guy now? Is that cliche? Is that overblown? Because you hear it once in a while, like, what does a leader in the locker room look like? Well, they come in many forms. They can be the loud guy that's pounding his chest. It can be the quiet assassin that just does everything at the most elite of elite levels, leads by example. Leaders come in many forms. But who is that guy? Because the coach, you know, in the way that if we're looking at leadership with the Vikings, you appreciate those post-game speeches and the way that Kevin O'Connell, from a culture standpoint, has built this organization. I want to win playoff games, but from a cultural standpoint, we're loving where we're at. The Sirianni bit, if he doesn't have a Brandon Graham to go in there and galvanize.
Or a Jason Kelsey, who used to help a lot with that.
Or a Jason Kelsey. Can Sirianni be a guy that galvanizes? I don't see him that way. I was impressed with how he held things together and has really put together the team that they have and gets over the top. But there is still a little bit of petulance. There's a little bit of front runner that I feel when I see Sirianni. Can he be the guy that cools this group out into the bye? I don't know, man. I just, again, the Eagles are their own worst enemy. Most talented team in the league, by my estimation. They can still roll into US Bank Stadium on Sunday and put 40 on Flores. I know they can. However,
no, they can't.
You don't think so?
Not 40. No.
But you get they can show up and play.
Yeah, make it a high scoring game.
They are a high end team that is fractured. And it's fundamentally fractured. It goes beyond even whether or not Jalen Carter plays. There's something else in the mix that is an issue. And if they can't run the ball on Sunday, if they're going to throw out 3.5 yards per carry, the Vikings are going to be 4-2. That's just how it feels to me again on a Wednesday before a matinee Sunday game. So,
good work with the bird seed.
Little bird seed.
It's a beatable bird seed squad. And the Vikings are off a bye. Sunday, noon for the Boom on the KFAN Minnesota Vikings audio network. This is also your cash thing leader, and here it is.
Yeah, 2 men in a junk truck. Well, they want to give you a chance to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. The keyword is money, and you just enter that keyword in at KFAN.com. The keyword is money. You might win some money with the keyword money at KFAN.com. Welcome back, 9 to noon. It is time for Vikes Bites. Vikes Bites, brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. And you can shop online. A box of meat will show up on your doorstep. Of course, you can go to your local Coburns and Co-ops locations. Kowalski's, I should say, as well. And then they are proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. Nothing better than having some beef and some coffee, some nutrient-dense beef with a cup of dark coffee. Let's go on a Wednesday morning. And I'm going to start here. How much time do you think Kevin O'Connell with the bye? I mean, we're so wrapped up in health, certainly. But from a time standpoint, how much time do you think Kevin O'Connell spent during the bye week, the internal conversations in relation to penalties? Penalties for your Minnesota Vikings. There's 7 flags against Cleveland, by the way. That was actually the fewest of any game this season. And it's been something that we've chronicled, whether it be Vikings fan line and of course, just in talkers throughout the year. But the penalty's the issue. And just, if anything, the head coach is going to lose sleep over. He's going to lose sleep over what's going on with the quarterback situation. But these freaking penalties, man, it's 7 flags in the Cleveland game. Otherwise, it was 8, and 13 in the other 4, respectively. 4th most pre-snap flags in the NFL. I think that's probably the most frustrating aspect of this. Those pre-snap penalties, I think it's at 20. That's the most among teams that have played in 5 games, but 4th most in the NFL pre-snap wise. I just wonder, PA, how much time among everything that Kevin O'Connell has to organize out of the bye week and into this game with Philly, just like the self-inflicted bits, the discipline bits, like quality team, talented team. We're loving Blake Brandel and what he did. We're loving Justin Jefferson. But regardless of all of that, the undisciplined aspect in spots with this team has to be driving the coach crazy. That has to be among the first few nuggets on his clipboard that he's addressing out of the bye into Philly.
Right above it or right behind it, and you could kind of tell by the way he shared it with X's and O's, 9 to noon yesterday. I think the Mason and Xavier Scott fumbles really got to him.
Oh.
Now, Mason fumbled in the Steelers game.
Yeah, but he lucked out, though.
Vikings were very fortunate there.
Touching that boundary.
That Jalen Ramsey didn't get to the house for 6. So, yes, those things I think are getting to him. I think the quarterback situation is working on him. I can't even explain what way, because Kevin generally has such a hold on things, which I believe they have, and it will get stronger once players come back. But there's just been a lot. And, it's O'Connell. It's difficult speaking for other people, having not talked to him about it. But I'm going to take that leap now with Kevin, is when you hear the phrase, to whom much is given, much is expected. Well, not everybody takes that to a 10 of 10 level. I think Kevin does.
Yeah.
So nobody knows exactly what he makes yearly with the extension. Who cares? Nobody exactly knows how many years with the extension. Who cares? Okay? You're a fantastic head coach who continues to improve. But, when you do win Coach of the Year, you come off 14 wins. It not only comes to a screeching halt, but, you're running into walls and trees with that symbolic car at the end of it. And it was bad.
Yeah.
And then, off that, he wins Coach of the Year. Lets two quarterbacks go. And when I say let 2 quarterbacks go, they could have given Sam Darnold a $100 million deal. They could have beaten the Indianapolis Colts and what they were offering Daniel Jones and said, you compete for the job. And here's what we're going to give you. And maybe that would have made things different and a little more calming. But nevertheless, he cares so much about how things go with this team from a minutia standpoint, specifically with those things you mentioned.
Yeah.
That it's something I sense something's eating at him. And I kind of sensed it in London, and I think it's the out of control. Like, you get everything ready, you get all these guys squared away, you're going to use the undrafted Wisconsin guy at left guard, you're going to put a center in there who's never done it in his life at any level. You're without O'Neal. Darrisaw's leaving the game. All that's frustrating, but most of it's working.
Yeah.
So you're getting it to work. It's when you have ring cred and you care about it the way that man does, and the pre-snap penalties and some of the foolishness just does not stop, he's going to take it personally.
Yeah.
And out of the bye, chance to turn a lot of those frowns upside down.
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites.
Thank you, Thousand Hills. How about this? Did Jonathan Grenard, I think this podcast, it's called Flag on the Play, and it's Trent, I'm going to butcher the name, McGoffey, McGahey.
Spell it.
Mick, MC, Gaughey.
Yeah, it's either McGahey or McGoffey.
I think it's McGahey, but either way. Thank you to Trent. I think this is a Houston area podcast.
Yeah, I don't even know who the guy is.
The former Texan, probably connected with these guys during his time in Houston, and he was on the podcast. And people kind of looking at, was this a potential oopsie? Was this a potential lean from Jonathan Grenard yesterday?
Nah, that's real, bro. We just we still got to get everybody back. I think JJ he'll probably be back this week or something like that. I think he will.
Ooh,
how about that?
What a find right there, the con.
Let's hear that one more time, and if you can picture. So it's Zapruder film, right? I mean, just kind of digging into combinations.
Oh, it's not.
Of the audio plus the frame by frame, seeing his face as he says it. We'll listen to it one more time.
Nah, that's real, bro. We just we still got to get everybody back. I think JJ he'll probably be back this week or something like that. I think he will.
The face.
Jeez, JJ.
Was there a potential?
Wow.
Was there a potential oopsie by our high-end pass rusher? As he said, JJ's going to be back. Catches himself, kind of hooks his neck a little bit.
No, it's McCarthy. Yeah, I mean, it's until proven otherwise, the bet's over for me. I mean, that's that right there. Like, when did he do the podcast? Within the last 2 days?
This was yesterday, I believe. Yeah.
They practiced on Monday. I'm so happy he did that, even if he's wrong, because the 9 to noon tandem is getting beaten down with this.
It hurts.
Here's why it should be McCarthy, and there's no other side. Here's why it should be Carson, and there's no other side. The Brosmer throws Mermania. That's fun, and eventually he may get a chance to play some quarterback, but that's an aside. It's just like last week when, after I've been out for a little bit and in Europe and stuff and was kind of in and out, when I got back, you encouraged me. You said, look, this quarterback talkback bit is hot.
It is.
I'm like, all right, let's do it. And nobody's mad at the talkbackers or the people offering the opinions. I could only hear 3 and I never wanted to hear them again.
I know.
You said simply because it's not everything has to be a best or a worst ever. Not everything has to be a 10 of 10 and it's over. Or 0 of 10 and I'm just going to retreat. Not everything has to be that in this world.
No.
Or certainly in football where, like I said earlier, hey, if they deem Carson Wentz the right quarterback for this game, well, that doesn't mean the future or the immediate future for J.J. McCarthy is in peril.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they feel that they invested in bad goods. I don't know if I used this example yesterday, 9 to noon, but on that Sacramento radio station with Grant Napier last night at 6 o'clock, when he was asking me about some of these quarterbacks, I just kind of tripped down this road, and I'm like, Drake May, all right? When I saw Drake May last year...
Wait a minute, good to hear Grant back in the mix, by the way.
The bomb.
Grant's awesome.
Yeah, you don't think I dropped a, and by the way, as a Christian, all lives do matter? All right, let's talk about blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and research it. But anyway, 3-2. Oh, yeah. So Drake May, when I saw him last year, I'm like, yeah. I mean, okay, but the coaching staff got fired. So now you got new bits in there. So now we see him this year up close and personally at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, 2 days of joint practices.
Yeah.
Didn't blow me away. I'm like, all right. I mean, he has a nice arm. Yes, he's fast. But still, there was, when Flores wanted to shut that kid down on a Thursday, there's nothing Drake May could do about it, no matter what play they called.
Yeah.
Well, he's not the first to face that.
That's true.
But nevertheless, even in the preseason game in which he played, he didn't want to play in that game.
No.
So I'm like, there's nothing that's bowling me over with Drake May. All right, so I'm spending a Sunday in Denver, Colorado after purchasing this aggressive YouTube thing for more money than I wanted to pay so I could watch all the games at my daughter's house. And we sat around, made lunch, watching all the games and everything. New England, New Orleans actually was an entertaining game.
It was.
I'm watching Drake May after having seen him play against Buffalo, and I'm like, bam, 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 bam. Woo, 5-step drop, plant, fire, booty, boundary. Nice. May, ding, 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 7-step drop, look left, swing back right because that's, because you know the booty's going to be there.
Yeah.
He finds the booty, chains move, everybody's happy. Khan's in his basement slapping that thing, the bass.
Once the lights go down.
So I'm like, geez, Drake May in hand and in command. What are we talking about? 9 games? 10 games maybe?
For Drake?
Yeah, 2 off seasons.
Yeah,
2 off seasons and, 12 games, whatever. But that still is not a voluminous amount of games.
No, it's not.
With our kid, we're talking about 2. We're talking about 8 quarters.
He's played in 19 games. As a matter of fact, Drake has.
Okay,
yeah.
so
played in them,
that's
and
perfect.
He's started 18 of them, I think. Yes.
That's perfect. That's perfect
18.
Because the age-old adage with me is with quarterbacks, I need 20 to 25 before I can start getting loud about them either way.
Yeah.
I'm getting loud about Drake May. My man's arrived. I mean, he put Hunter Henry on a game 3 games ago where I can't remember who they were playing. They couldn't stop it, and he was selling stuff to wait for Henry to get open. So the O-line obviously had to help. But there's the example with McCarthy. So backtrack. This is your layering leader. So let's go to the baseline. Bernard slips. 9 to noon, enthralled because McCarthy's the quarterback against the Eagles. Is it right or is it wrong? We don't care. We just don't have to think about all 3 options anymore until proven wrong.
Right.
And the head coach, next layer, head coach told 9 to noon yesterday, no, this is not going to be some top secret mission up to the game. I'll let the public know who the quarterback is when I'm ready. Boom. Next layer. Drake May, problematic. 19-20 into it, Drake May not problematic.
Not problematic.
You can win games with Drake May.
Yes, you can.
So that's casting the gaze the way of the future for J.J. McCarthy, but it doesn't mean our version of Jacoby Brissett might need to jump in there every so often and compete and or win games. And that doesn't make the GM or the head coach foolish. It doesn't make the kid a bust. And it also doesn't make the Brissett/Wentz the future of the franchise. This is perfect. I'm so glad you found that.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll pause, though. How do you think Kevin O'Connell will have to balance the idea of Drake May in 2024 was 3-9 as a starter, and a team ultimately that was able, I think was it Will Campbell they drafted, the fat left tackle from LSU this year? So they found their way to a high draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to the conversation we've had before. The roster built to win now. The team deciding to go with McCarthy with a roster perceived off of 14 wins to be in the playoff mix. I don't think anybody had delusions of grandeur in New England a year ago. So how do you balance the mentality of giving McCarthy those reps? Like you're talking, the kid needs seasoning. The kid needs opportunity like Drake May did. Drake May, in some ways, had the benefit of getting that seasoning and getting those reps with a team that did not expect, was not coming off a season with 14 wins. And now, new coach, some sweet drafting, and a new aura change has them in a good spot battling in an AFC East that we thought was a foregone conclusion.
And a group that believes in him.
100%.
A group that openly lets him know we love you.
Yes.
Which I can't say the previous group in New England didn't do, but the previous group in New England didn't do enough for Mr. Kraft to not give somebody a 3-year fat deal as the head coach. I think it was 3. And then, like at the end of 1, no, I'm just going to go ahead and pay the other 2, so you leave.
Going to move on.
I want you to leave.
But the perception is Drake May gets to work as part of a rebuild. Mm-hmm. J.J. McCarthy is walking into a reload.
Yeah.
And I think those varying perceptions have fan bases maybe looking at those growth curves.
Agreed.
J.J. McCarthy through 19 games could be every bit as good as Drake May, but if you have to live through some L's,
you do.
There's going to be some problems.
Oh, okay, well,
from the fan base perspective.
Guess what? You know what? I'm not speaking for the team or the coach, and I've never talked to the coach about this. Preach that to the head coach. Okay, let's preach that to Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, Wes Phillips, Josh McCown, Brian Angelico, everybody associated with the bid. Yes, this is a reload. Yes, you love him. Yes, you see good things in him that we have yet to see. Yes, it's undeniable he's 22 years of age. It's undeniable he didn't face anything like this at the collegiate level for very good teams. So, yeah, all of that is factual. And that's what makes the conversational jambalaya so intriguing for some.
Yeah.
But there are just two things, good times, bad times here. The bad times were after you touted me on how hot this was. You were absolutely right. I could tweet about this thing all day if I wanted to. But it's the thing that gets me
it's definitely Keontae George.
Is the thing that gets me is that people don't leave openings, not everybody, people don't leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
There has to be the gut shot that is hit.
Right.
And that's just another facet of a social media world where people get so loud and so dumb on social media because in February and March, they start getting loud about who their favorite team should take and they live it. And then they don't take that and then they get hit and they can't handle it. So it's an open-ender here. If it's McCarthy, well, that doesn't mean Carson's going to have to amputate his left shoulder.
It's true.
If it's Wentz, that doesn't mean McCarthy's a complete bust.
Right.
If it's Brosmer, they got two quarterbacks who the establishment does not believe are healthy enough to play. Those are the facts.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the bit. So that's the bad time. Well, what are the good times? Are the good times and bad times? Grenard slipped. Houston podcast. You know, we're going to get we got all these injuries, and JJ's going to come back to. I mean, at least I think he's supposed to come back.
I think he's going to come back.
Personal foul.
Hey! Man, I'm going to give him a high five when I see him today for just taking a tiny bit off the plate of 9 to noon, so we can start thinking about different things, like News du Nord, which is next on FM 100.3 KFAN.
What up? It's News du Nord. It'll be truncated via the clock as we reset. Excited to catch up. And in very newsy fashion, the Seattle Mariners up 2-0 on the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS. We're going to catch up with our buddy out west, Softy from Seattle, KJR's finest. He's going to kick off the 11 a.m. hour. But News du Nord, short as it shall be, is brought to you by The Casino. Not a casino, The Casino. Canterbury Park in Shakopee, CanterburyPark.com. Poker, blackjack, and table games all year round.
Oh, my.
And you have the ability on Thursdays to play the NFL Pro Pick'em Challenge at Canterbury. So just another way to win money.
I'm telling Softy 06.
Okay, sweet. So as part of this, you can just go to Canterbury, you make your NFL picks for the weekend, and weekly winners, of course. Again, a little money for the effort. But then at the end of the year, one grand prize winner is going to get free fuel for a year, courtesy of Quick Trip. So thank you so much to Canterbury and Quick Trip, all involved, and CanterburyPark.com. Minnesota Wild lose 5-2 last night in Dallas. It was a back-to-back. You get the cool shootout win. Everyone's loving Volstead. You get the W against the Kings, despite a 3-0 lead that you conceded in the third period and required the shootout in the first place. But regardless, you get the late one at home. You head down to Big D, a team you struggle to win anytime you're playing them, the Dallas Stars. They staked a 3-0 lead. The Wild did not crawl their way back from the other end of that particular scenario. They lose 5-2. But interesting here, through 4 games now, they have a it's 47% PA. The Wild are on the power play. 40-7%. Through 4 games, they have 10 power play goals.
Jeez.
10 power play goals in particular. I think 6 of them are specifically in the number 1 unit, the Kaprizov bid. Kaprizov did have a goal, I think, in a dime last night as part of that loss. But we, for years, it's like, okay, winning faceoffs, appreciate that. Haven't won a faceoff since Koivu retired. And then, hey, how about the special teams? Can we be better? We need to, can Brodziak come out of retirement so we're better on the penalty kill? Can we ever score on the power play with any consistency? Well, 10 goals in 4 games is pretty freaking nutty. And they're off to a hot start, at least in special teams. Maybe they can bring that to the capital city in a couple of days when they face said Washington Caps.
Couple of things on that quickly. The Wild is on pace for the greatest power play in NHL history, and you can't argue with the math. And secondly, some of the most overrated Wild concerns right now include lack of 5-on-5 goals.
Yeah.
In fact, that might be it. They're scoring goals overall, 8th in the NHL in goals per game. They're getting chances 5-on-5. They're creating, just like power plays will regress, 5-on-5 will ascend the other way, and their 5-on-5 play is drawing penalties. So thank you, Tennessee. I appreciate that. That's all courtesy of @Brandon Molesky via the X Machine. Just gravy trained that from him, but it's
beautiful.
It's not just something with which I choose to argue. 15, 20, 25 minutes from now, Mick Tocchet at Micheletti. He'll join 9 to noon after a softie celebration. This is a celebration of Seattle sports, and we think you'll enjoy it around the corner. Softie from KJR joins 9 to noon. It's KFAN.